buscar, cazar, construir, cultivar, degrado, excavar, remendar, agora, voy, buscar, cazar, construir, cultivar, degrado, excavar, remendar, agora, voy.
Chopper.
Right, hello, and welcome back with another part of the Castle Bracket stream. Um, and I am in the process of setting everything up, and we'll get right into it. And for yes, okay. Just need to do one more thing, and we will get going with game number one here. So Age of Conquerors playing against Forgotten Empires. Forgotten Empires we already had the other day, and I think I mislabeled the other team as Age of Conquerors when it was Age of Kings. So this time we actually have Age of Conquerors, and then third stream I'll hopefully do sometime later this week, depending on whether we can figure out the right games and also oh right, how much time I have, you know. Yes, ayo.
Sup?
Yeah. What's up? So hey, so
Sup?
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 Yeah, sup?
Thank you for the sub. Sup, Cliff. Sup. Let me just go over here and we will get right into it. So, why is it loading now? I just had this replay set up. Unbelievable. Okay, well, I think. Alright, well, we still have it set up. Alright, so, Age of Conquerors versus Forgotten Empires playing on two rivers. And it looks like, unlike the Imperial bracket, cough cough, they actually got the correct spawn set up here. Don't know if that was intentional, if they restarted till they got that or not, but this is a standard two river start with each team kind of sitting on one back line and then one player kind of separated through water from the rest, giving them a nice little forward, but also kind of isolating them. Yeah, so we have for Age of Conquerors on the flank, Italians Bismarcking. Solid Civ here, I think. You get the cheaper age up, which lets you up faster, and Italians have a solid archer line for an archer play, and also a decent light cav, I think. Also a solid water civ, and obviously water is present and is actually a much bigger factor than you'd think. It's just two little rivers, but with this, if you fill this with cannon galleons or something, you can exert so much control, right? So, yeah, solid pick. Terag has a poles. Heavy cavalry civ. If they can get obviously with the full works, it's just so satisfying to place farms around. Oh, you guys just decide to roll with the spawns you got. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, this is technically the spawn that gets used in the other tournaments. But yeah. Poles, if you let them boom up, they're particularly strong in Castle Age, right? The farms bring in all that food real fast, with full works picking picking up a percentage, and you get the cheaper knights. Later, if you get into a full trash war, they're not bad with the hussar that get trample damage, but don't get paladins, so kind of do drop off a bit in late Imperial Age, and then in late Imperial Age, they're good. But like for a knight play, they're a solid pocket civ. Huns, obviously, we've talked about this in other games before, are great paladin civ, and yeah, get a good boom going there. They can do a lot, and we've seen actually the unique unit, oh gosh, what are they called? Tarkans, there we go. Tarkans really melt buildings and actually prove quite effective against different units. So solid choice. And Bohemians, also very solid late game. Do have their pike or spearlang gets an extra 25% bonus damage, so against cavalry. So that's really nice. Hey Drewster, welcome. Yeah, so good defensive. You get a lot of really solid gunpowder. Hoofnice, if you can get them, are amazing. If you're on flank, you're probably not looking at Hoofnice as much as taking advantage of that of the halbs and maybe going into archers. The stable is kind of weak for Bohemians. Their scouts aren't particularly great. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. On the other side, Red with the Koreans. Yeah, a lot of tower potential. Water, again, turtle ships on here can be real solid. And war wagons, if you can get them en masse, are really tanky. It'd be interesting to see if we get into war wagons versus the Bohemian Hussite wagons, how that trades. It's just two giant tanky units just whacking away at each other, I guess. Georgians, we've seen this. They're a bit weaker in early game, but if you can get them to Manaspa and you can mass Manaspa, those Manaspa just kind of melt everything. So want to hit them early, or that can get real hurtful. Second pocket Khmer. Interesting pick. Khmer are really solid civ. Obviously, ballista elephants and mass are fantastic against anything. Super tanky, super powerful. Have a solid eco as well. I say a bit surprising because you usually see them on closed maps, right? Black Forest or Arena or something, especially with the ballista elephant's ability to cut through trees. But still, solid pocket civ. And then as the isolated flank, we have Alpha Grip Enjoyer. And I like the choice of Byzantines here. Just Byzantines are so tanky. Again, a civ you'll usually see more on closed maps, but in an isolated situation like this, the extra HP on the buildings may come super in handy, and also the cheap trash is really nice, and any infantry that comes out, the unique unit will do great against. Now from Italians, if you see, you probably won't see infantry so much as archers or cavalry early, but we'll see how that goes. And then Byzantines do have the trash units to counter that, as we see some walls coming out for Clef and actually a forward dock. It'll be interesting to see if he adds some fires to maybe snipe the fishing ships, although from these backline players, only Parker Potts has gone to water. Yeah. And it looks like it's actually just those two players. Yeah, Parker Potts the only one from Age of Conquerors to go to water, and Alpha Grip the only one from Forgotten Empires, although we may see that change later. I guess we are still somewhat early in game. And it looks like we have a disconnect. Didn't pause the game. I don't know if they saved for a restart or what we'll be seeing here, but nope. Okay. So yeah, this game was ended in a disconnect, but we have the next game right here. Not sure, Clef, did you guys save and then reload the save, or did you just restart completely? You called it on the second? Okay. Well, we'll see how the second one goes. It looks like this is a restore. Looks like you guys kept going. And yeah, still only 3 fishing ships and a little bit of scouting going on. I saw a ping earlier. I think Bismarcking has found Alpha Grip Enjoyer. Walls coming up here. Other than that, players pretty open, mostly focused on their own eco for the moment. And yeah, I mean, one thing to keep track of here as players start heading up to feudal age is these crossings, right? It can be easy as the pocket positions to be like, oh, I'm completely safe. But you need to keep track of this crossing because you can easily flood scouts in here and hit that. So pocket players probably still want to either wall this if they plan to boom up. A bit less necessary here because Parker Potts has the flank player in front, but still want someone tracking these crossings in order to ensure your peaceful boom doesn't turn into getting raided to death. Eco upgrades coming in here for Raider Red. And yeah, still not much fishing. 3 fishing chips now for Parker Potts and 1 for Alpha Grip. I think I'd like to see more from that, especially from the pocket players, right? Or especially from the backline players. If the front line, well, the front line, even for example, Burner can back dock for fishing, or like Alpha Grip front dock, take some of those fish and you'll probably lose them eventually, but once you hit feudal, you can maybe add some fires and start harassing the enemy fishing eco. It's extra work, but fishing eco is just so much food, as we now see Bismarcking go for a dock as well. And as players reach feudal, we'll see if we add more docks. Yep, got another one coming out here for Lethalion. So yeah, looks like players are moving to water. Other than that, bit of scouting here. Raider Red looks like Raider Red has found Burner. And with that, with Terag in 30 seconds, and ooh, near perfect. Now, polls, the one thing I'll say is the full work, every farm you place within this square here immediately drops off a percentage of food. That means that farms placed directly next to a forward work a lot faster and your food income is a lot faster. The same is not true for the town center. So poles are probably the only civilization where instead of placing farms right by your town center, you actually build stuff close to your town center to leave room somewhere else to be able to build another full work, to build farms right next to the full work, just to be able to take advantage of that food eco bonus. Because you can see I'm never quite sure if like these farms that are partially in the square still get that bonus, but we have at least 2 farms here that are not getting that bonus at all. But that's one of those finicky details, as we see a fast castle from Lethalion actually. And that is a solid uptime, especially considering that, I mean, has a village or shore fishing now, but not much apart from that. Looks like Parker Potts will scout some more. A couple more scouts over here. Will unfortunately miss Dovekey's scouts, or they could maybe coordinate and jump on that. Lots of eco upgrades coming in. Bit of farming being set up. And fast castle as well from Burner, who actually will not be super far behind Lethalion. And let's see what he does with that. Looks like has a stable up, so maybe we'll see a scout's approach. Is going to stonewall off here as well, though. And I think Lethalion will probably be content to boom up here a bit before she commits to any military. We're here, barracks down from Alpha Group, who's fully walled. And looks like we'll see an archers opening from Italians. And double dock, actually, adding... Oh no, this is a second dock from Alpha Group. So Alpha Group could actually fully contest this if he wants to. We do have only 1 fire in queue from Bismarcking. Oh, 1 from Alpha Group now as well. And I mean, getting 1 fishing ship is nice, but that is limited value. And I guess a defensive fire here. Double dock. Yeah. More docks coming up now. So I think Alpha Group definitely has potential here to snipe some fishing ships and maybe maybe get some damage, but not much apart from that. This tower will sort of cover the fishing eco, will prevent kind of keep Alpha Group at bay, but a Watchtower will do limited damage against ships. It'll take quite some time, as we see Castle Age actually from Raider Red coming in, and it looks like Burner is opting to boom up as well, as we see a second TC dropped, second and third TC by Lethalion. And over here, good of Alpha Group to kind of kite back, is running the fight. Looks like Bismarcking was repairing, but content to just have a standoff for now. Parker Potts bring over. Ooh, good damage on that archer there. That's helpful. And yeah, have the tower there. That's good. And ooh, maybe can it be able to snipe the scout? That would be value right there. Taking that away. Looks like he's chasing. Yeah, this stock will eventually go down, but it'll take some time. Ooh, demo. Okay, decent. Does get value. Let's trade here, and it's gonna be close. Okay, no, pulls back, so now he has the tower fight advantage, and actually wins out that as well. Nice, very nice. And we'll add a galley to be able to kind of contest this. Solid place. Stone walls coming up here for Dovekey, so she can boom up in peace. Stone walls here as well, although it looks like these archers from Raider Red might actually find a villager kill. Watching that. Oh no, the archers missed that. Is busy somewhere else, I guess. So those archers will walk right past that villager. That's too bad. We'll be able to pressure the woodline potentially here a bit. Let's see what he does with that. On the other side, more fires out, more galleys. Not quite in the numbers to be able to take this fight though. And it looks, yeah, like the archers will still get some solid eco damage. Crushing the wood line. Now, Raider Red probably wants to be kiting with these a bit, or the villagers can just engage, but looks like Burner is actually disengaging, and so the archers, well, they'll shoot that farm eventually, but did get a vill kill, so got some value there already, as we see Castle Age coming in for more players. And might see another Navy engagement here in a second, and I think Alpha Group wins this one, right? With the galleys behind. Does have fletching as well. Yeah, so this is a nice little clear up here, and can actually, if he wants to push out and maybe hit this fishing eco, there's not much left defending it. I guess you have a little bit here, but forcing out a lot of water investment here from Team Age of Conquerors, so that's pretty solid. Yeah, and it's powerful, right? You're forcing your actions from 3 players. Oh, unfortunate. There's the end of the game. If you contest water here, if you can get forward here and get some cannon gallons out or something, you can hit like half of this area. It's a lot of area control. But it looks like that's that. Did you guys call a winner on this game? Yep. And that's something to be aware of. 1 by points. Okay, fair enough. That is reasonable then. That is, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so Forgotten Empire's up 1-0. Yeah, it's that early feudal pressure, right? It's having just 2 or 3 units out can do so much damage. You want it. There's the impulse to go and boom up and try to get 60 of a unit, but like 2 archers here, getting some kills, forcing out knights. This over here forcing a lot of naval investment just with a few ships. So yeah. Cool. Well, that is game 1. Does go to Forgotten Empires. It's unfortunate that the restarts happen there. I would have loved to see it play out. Just because it's such an interesting map, right? But yeah, as it is, we will go right ahead and switch into map 2. And yeah. think Two Rivers matches are always interesting. I'm bummed that we never got to play it, but right, let's head on back over to map number 2. This is Arenaception, and hold on. I think okay, we had Bismarcking was red, Burner was orange. Alpha Grip was gray. Raider Red was I keep meaning to set this whole thing up so that Raider Red is red. Yeah, I mean it's entirely reasonable to swap, but I'm just trying for the cast to keep the colors consistent so it's easier to track who's who. But I mean, yeah, we definitely swapping changes who's on flank and who's in the middle. So within a team, it definitely makes sense to swap colors around. But yeah, so Arenaception, arena style, but with land on the outside. Bismarcking as a Spanish civ that's really good at fast castle and castle dropping. Kronk's obviously a powerful unit, so see if we see any of that. Parker Potts with the Chinese. If you can boom up with them, really, they have a strong eco, and then especially at Castle Age, once you can start really churning out units, really, really powerful. Chukanu can be devastating when fully upgraded. Yeah, Rocketry Chukanu. Sicilians, yeah, solid civ. Have the donjons which they can build, and the sergeants, and really interesting where you have, you build your first donjon, then from your donjon you can build sergeants, and I think now spearman line as well. But then the sergeants that you build from the donjon, the sergeants are able to repair and build more donjons. So it's a military unit that can build a military building, which is super interesting. Do lose out on the tower in exchange though. Franks, one of the classic powerful cavalry civilizations. I really expect to see cavalry knights going for paladin maybe. You do occasionally see throwing axemen though, so might have some of that as well. On the other side, Incas, which we've seen perform very well this tournament. Have the cheaper units, which is great. Eagles, which are fantastic pretty much all the time, and not at all biased here. This is actual fact. Eagles are the best unit, except for Jaguar Warriors. But yeah, only Aztecs can have Jaguars. Anyway, the unique units they get though, the Kamyuk though, are really, really solid against cavalry. So I think Raider Red, if he can get into Kamyuk against Burner's cavalry, that's fantastic. And actually, even I think Slingers will do fantastic against the throwing axemen. So if does definitely have good units to counter here. Lethaline has a Teutons. We've talked about this before. Lethaline loves Teutons. It's one of her go-to civs for signature civs for quite some time. Fantastic food eco with the cheaper farms, boom up, and then Teutons are slow, but incredibly heavily armored, right? Lack the speed upgrades, but Teutonic Knights, Paladin with the extra armor and stuff, really solid. Siege with extra armor. And you can counteract the slow units by just, taking your production buildings and placing them here, and if it's a short distance, it doesn't matter that your units are a bit slower. Huns, yeah, like Celeste met on the other team now. Another really strong Paladin civ. I wonder if... Well, I guess you can go double Paladin. You do have your two flanks, whatever. And then Lithuanians, Alpha Grip, which is actually also... So we have 3 heavy cav civs. Although, to be fair, Spanish are also cavalry. Yeah, interesting. In Sicilians, technically, I think with the extra armor. Lots of cavalry civs here. But Lithuanians, we've seen Alpha Grip play these before and do a good job of, grabbing these extra relics for the ladies, and actually all cavalry to get the extra damage, +1 for all cavalry up to 4 relics, up to +4, which is an insane amount of extra damage. And then the ladies, ignoring armor just makes him really good at shredding just about anything. So, yeah, we'll see where each of the players takes these as we have a little bit of scouting going on. Looks like Dovekey found some sheep from either Raider Red or from Lathalion. Lathalion is out on hunt and on the berries. So it looks like she's a few sheep short. Those might be hers. It's team laming there. We've seen self-laming in this tournament. We haven't seen team laming before. Which, to be fair, the entire team will see these and can go and pick them up. But also, Dovekey could technically just send the sheep to whatever player. Not a huge thing. Early walls coming out here for Alpha Grip to secure these sides. And yeah, I mean, diagonal walls are a bit harder to defend, but at the same time, I don't hate it just because it gives you the access to the stone, right? Probably we'll see a straight wall out here. We're utilizing that forest, so decent choice, I think. And yeah, more players that actually haven't found all their sheep yet, I guess, as Red finds some of Terrag's. To be fair, particularly on Arenaception, it's kind of annoying to find the sheep because generally they're outside, but whether they're outside on this side or outside on this side is extremely inconsistent. If you're very lucky, they'll spawn close enough to the wall that you can see them immediately, but that is rarely the case. So, yeah, all the players making their way up to Feudal here. Eco upgrades already coming in. Wood and gold for Raider Red. Double bit X for several other players as well. And we'll see, yeah, Parker Pot's taking the hunt here as well. Really utilizing that food as much as possible. Same here for Bismarcking. Not a lot of deer pushing happening, but to be fair, that is click intensive, and I mean, it is more efficient, obviously, but not a huge deal, I think, for these matches. Early barracks coming up here, so possibly looking for some early military here. And looks like Dovekey is going to stone. So maybe getting an early castle ready. Grass castles here. Yeah, Raider Red on stone and gold as well. Yeah, sending more to stone, so probably looking for a castle, and especially from the flanks, I wouldn't be surprised. It's not uncommon at any level really to see castle drops either defensively to protect your flank, or forward to attack the enemy, or just in the center to secure some area. There's a lot of things you can do with it, right? Stables here from Bernard. Scout opening is I think not surprising. And it looks like Terrag maybe a bit later to Castle Age, but I wonder if that's intentional or 22. Maybe got distracted by something, because he is on gold already as well, and actually his eco's not looking bad for going up to castle pretty quickly, so just a fast castle maybe, I guess. As we do have a couple players on the way to fast castle as well. Dovekey's Farms. Oh yes, very, very nice. No, these ones as well, looking good from Bismarcking. We'll probably, if he wants to keep expanding the farming, go maybe drop a mill there and then keep building farms around. Although he has a farm here that you can drop some farms around and then still keep that mining camp. And actually no farms yet from Parker Potts. Where's your food income? A lot on berries. Um, but 9 on food is gonna want to start adding farms real soon here, because berries are not a super efficient source of income, and also they're gonna be gone at some point. More TCs being added here. And it looks like Alpha Grip has completed the walls, has a market set up for ready for trade. Yeah, if the team actually starts setting up trade, you probably want to add another market here, right? Just so it's further back, corner to corner, as far away from the enemy as possible, while staying as long as possible. But for now, we'll also help provide a lot of vision. And a stable on the outside as well. Watchtower defensively, as we see Scouts still kind of checking around here. We'll find some resources and more TCs being added from Burner as well as from Lethalion, who's really getting into that food eco now. 10 farms down. Ooh, 14 farms from Burner though. Alright, there we go. Parker Pot's adding all the farms. And it looks like maybe a bit of wood problems for Dovkia. Some of these farms expired and need to be reseeded. And that's where the Teuton bonus is so nice, right? The reduced wood cost, which makes it much easier to get that farming eco rolling. Outside walls coming down, stone walls here for Raider Red. Looks like I think that was accidental. But he's built it. So there we have it. A little tower of its own. Market's coming up. And yeah, it's a solid boom. I mean, you have right now still about the same in villagers, but the TCs have just come up, and as the game progresses, you'll see this villager lead pull ahead. I mean, already, okay, jumped up to 41 now, where most other players are at like 34, 35. Burner actually up to 40 as well, though, and dropping his third TC, second TC from Bismarcking, and a defensive castle coming up for Raider Red here. And yeah, looks like no one is looking to contest the relics so far, as we have some raid, and was that got some militia here? Okay, we do have infantry upgrades coming in, so maybe looking to send that militia out somewhere, maybe help contest the relics. I guess spears would be better for that, because you'll deal with scouts, or scouts if you expect monks, but might as well make use for it. Fletching coming in from Dovekey, so maybe going for a cav archer approach, maybe. Oh, some sheep here as well that Alpha Grip missed. And this scout here, both teams with scouts in their backline that they'll want to probably clean up at some point. Not dangerous at the moment, but, you know, just denying that information. And Alpha Grip will come forward and do some stone walls to really secure the outside. Burn really sounded the same teacher. Yeah. Well, you know Southpaw's a boomer, right? So he'll teach everyone to boom. And a 3 TC boom is very effective if you're in a pocket and can get away with it. It's fantastic, as we have Andy and Sling coming in for Raider Red, so maybe actually looking for skirms or slingers. Andy and Sling takes away the minimum range that skirmishers and slingers normally have, which is super convenient in close exchanges. Yeah, okay, boomer. We have summoned the boomer. More TCs coming up here for Dovekey. More farms, and Age of Conquerors actually pulling ahead in Village. 10, 15 villagers ahead now. With just one TC more, second TC coming down for Raider Red. I think this will equalize again. in a bit. Also, more time up for Castle Age still, and would really like to see the pockets for Age of Conquerors add more TCs, especially the Chinese, right? You really want to get that eco rolling. Do like the eco upgrades coming in though. And yeah, it looks like defensive castle coming up for Parker Potts, defensive castle for Bismarcking. And knights on the field actually for Burner. I don't know where. Looks like they're not going to the outside for now. We're just chilling. See what the men-at-arms are doing. Also just chilling. Oh, but we have monks in the middle. And the monks are grabbing these relics. And honestly, okay, I love the scouts coming out. I was about to say, Forgotten Empires really want scouts out here to be contesting these relics because you need them. You need these relics so much more for the Lithuanians. Looks like these scouts unfortunately missed this monk and have a chance to hit this monk. Do they see that? Nope. Does see the relic disappear, so maybe can take advantage of that, but really, okay, we'll get at least one relic here. But it looks like, okay, looks like someone's tracking this. Alpha Grip Scouter on the move. And should be able, okay, one more relic here. So Alpha Grip might be able to secure 3 relics here. Definitely has the ability to snipe this monk. And it looks like Raider Red will grab this relic. So not terrible, but yeah. Ooh, and this is where you really want the markets in the corner, because right now they're taking the shortest route and going from this market to this market, and the shortest route between those two markets is going to go right through the center of the map. So if there's any military from Age of Conquerors, they can whack your trade right there. Night out from Lethalian. Good timing too. Probably okay. We'll take out the scout as the knights here take out these scouts. Probably want to send this as well. Lethalian needs to send in her knights as the scout disengages. Probably want to send the knights against the knights and have the scout loop around and snipe this monk. Ooh, Lethalian needs to delete that before it gets converted. You are Teutons, but they're still not invincible. Looks like the scout will try and loop around for the monks, and even just pushing them back that way is really solid, I think. Provides you the time you need to send out a monk of your own and snag that relic, and it looks like they're bringing the relics over here to Alpha Grip. You'll love to see it. That's some teamwork right there. Yeah, Bismarck is going to go ahead and heal up his knights, but this relic should be fine. Don't run into the castle. I don't think he will. I think the pathing will lead down to this gate, which is well outside the castle's range. But knights protecting. Lots of castles coming up. Second castle super defensive for Burner, and I don't love this castle. I think you put it out here, cover the stone and gold and protect the side, or you put it further back here, but here it's not protecting much of anything. But yeah, it does give you a second castle. Nice defensive castle here, kind of covering these 2 golds. Defensive castles on the inside and outside. This one as well, kind of protecting the stone, but I think you place it up here or up here even between the 2 golds. And another castle on the outside here for Bismarcking, and it looks like this team might have the same trade problem, although these trade units are only going to this market, which is safer, but also less efficient, as these trade cards have, what, 28 gold? Versus these ones that carry... Let's see if we can find it. Come on, how much gold? How much gold? Boom. 82 gold. Okay. Another castle here from Raider Red, kind of pushing out a bit, and one tile further. One for a tile further forward and you can range these walls. Alright, well if you get Bracer, you'll still be able to range them, so that's fine. And let's see, we have 2 relics in. Did you lose a third? We have 1 relic here. Oh, yeah. Dovkey really wants to give that relic to her Lithuanian ally. Really want to give that over here because, yes, it's less gold for you, but it's gold and attack for your ally. That's still just 4 relics, though. Still missing one somewhere. Okay. Going into Kamyuk, you'll love to see it. That's exactly what you want against the cavalry from the Franks. I have no idea where that last relic is. Oh, as we see a bit of an engagement. No. The knights are still escorting the monk here. Okay, so I'm missing 1 relic, but it looks like it's 3-1 at least, and okay. Yeah, Bracer's in, so the castle will start ranging these walls, and another castle actually coming up, which, if you're going for Kamyuk production, right, unique unit production, you want a lot of castles. Love the Trebs. Can really start punching a hole in there and run these in, and honestly, Bernard doesn't have a lot to answer to this right now, right? He's got 16 Cavalier, but against, was that 12, 18 Kamyuk, those Cavalier are not gonna be having a great time. And your pocket is also just sitting here with knights, which are just as countered. They'll run forward, and there's a hole. There's a hole right there. Wait, do they see that? Okay, so Raider Red should know that hole is there. And, okay, both teams can see this hole. The question is whether they take advantage of it. Looks like they're just waiting for now, and it looks like the Cavalier will come back here. As the Trebs start rubbing away. More Trebs coming out, and it looks like Lithuania is going a mix of Teutonic Knights and just straight up Knights. Cavalier is just a few seconds off. On the other side, Trebs out as well. Bismarcking gonna start trebbing down this castle from Alpha Group, and I think if you want to go latest, you place your castles. Probably want that castle a bit more defensively so you don't lose it, or you lose a production building, right? Especially with your enemy being an Imperial, not you. But not the end of the world, but probably gonna want some support from Dovkey here to deal with this push that's probably coming soon. That's a fair amount of conks. Over here, though, big engagement. Oh, you gotta send those Kamyuk in. Those Kamyuk would shred right now. You gotta bring those in as Paladin is actually in from Burner. There they go. Alright, here we go. Yep. And so the Cavalier will be cleared up, but the Paladin have to run from these Kamyuk. And if they choose to not, you can see they're just melting away right there. Kamyuk are missing the last armor upgrade, but you can look at this. Look at this. The Paladin are just gone. Next wave is coming in, but these are just gone. And these aren't even elite Kamyuk yet. Armies are just melting away. On this side, though, the push is happening, and we have Okay, so running in to snipe the Trebs, which I don't think is a terrible choice. Getting rid of those will really slow down that push. Looks like Roy's marking will actually be able to push those back, but the Tarkans, no, the Tarkans are outside. One or two will get in. But the Trebs stay alive for now, and Bismarck is going to start pushing back. Quieting down again. Parker's spot's still booming up, going for a 5th GC now, actually, dang. Over here, though, the push is on. The cavalry's in. Kamyuk are in. Cavalry are in, and Trebs are rolling out. And, okay, we have Halbs coming in, which should lose against the Kamyuk still. Although they will do solid. Oh, and the Teutonic Knights will just clean these Halbs, even in these numbers. Probably want the Kamyuk here by the Trebs, though, before the Paladin come in and snipe them, and they are on the way. On the way, and I think, okay, they are bypassing the Trebs, so these 2 forward Trebs might actually stay alive. That back one will get sniped, and no, they're coming back, and that will also slow down the push on this side. Although, one Treb is still up. And the Kamyuk are here now. And will the Treb stay up? Nope, goes down. And the Kamyuk will clean up the Paladin, but the push is stopped for now. Terrag's still booming up a bit. Needs probably maybe too late to really boom much more. Your ally needs you right now, right? But you don't have the eco behind it yet. As we see a push coming on this side now. Looks like Dovekey's come in to help her ally. Get massive Tarkans, which will start working away. Treb's working away on the castles, which is great. And a more defensive castle coming up here for Alpha Group, who looks like is also going to mix in some Cavalier. Which is a solid choice, right? You don't need to go full Latus. They're a fantastic unit, but also to get the numbers, you want to maybe add in some stables. It's well worth the upgrade costs. And, I mean, Lithuanian Paladin are fantastic as well. They're just, latest are even better. But the Tarkans are in, and in these numbers, they should do quite well against this town center. Monks are here, though, and are doing a fair amount of damage. I think the TC is still going to go down, which is still going to hurt. And let's see what the Tarkans do. Could get a lot of villager kills here, but looks like they'll leave for now. On the other side, the gate is being knocked down by the Latus. One of the castles goes down. Cavalry retreating. 2 Trebs working away. Looks like a Treb was sniped. And still a bit of a standoff here. Just big army masses. On the other side, the push is still on, though. The Paladin are in. And we do have throwing axemen, and this is where you want to see slingers from. Your Incas player, right? That'll do really nice against these bearded axemen, which will take out those Trebs in a hurry. And he does have 3 castles to produce these from, but still having to relocate his entire eco behind this second set of walls. And over here, the push is in. Big engagement happening here, which I think the Conks will win on numbers alone, and also because the Tarkans aren't engaging. Looks like Bismarck can actually rebuild his TC here. But you gotta coordinate these armies, because the Lithuanian cavalry on its own is great, but against this number of Conks, they'll still lose. Super forward castle here from Lethalian, getting ready to hit Terrag as well. Starting to send some military, pushing back these sergeants. And also, oh, this is Raider Red's castle. Taking control of this base, I like it. And also going to keep trebbing down this TC, and I think they're, no, no overtop. 10 wood on that, though. 10 wood. 5, 3, 2, 1, hole. There's a hole, and this entire eco's in danger if Team Forgotten Empire sees this. On this side, it looks like Bismarcking's been able to stabilize, right? The sheer number of Conks is pushing back, and lots of barracks coming up from Dovekey. I think you almost want skirmishers against conks more than you want halbs. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Tower shields coming in. Now, actually Alpha Grip could go skirms, right? Tower shields gives you that extra armor, which is gonna be super nice. Really gonna help you trade well against the conks, and with the halbs coming out here from Bismarcking as well, who's been doing a fantastic job holding this actually on his own. Switching out of cavalry for a minute might be a solid choice. On this side, oh, this castle might actually be denied. Cavalry coming out. And we still have 5 villagers working away, but that's a lot of military. Yeah, these villagers are all dead. Looks like we have a doubt castle, and that will be denied for the time being. This castle, however, will go up, and that'll give the Treb a safe position to just knock away and knock down these 2 castles, and Burner is in a lot of trouble. Big engagement here, and that's a lot of Tarkans, but it's also a lot of conks, and the conks have halbs. Castle fire will definitely help as the Lithuanian cavalry engages as well. Yeah, Lithuanian skirms are not bad, especially with tower shields researched, which you have. Honestly, latest will do great as well, you just need the numbers. And yeah, you can see them actually managing to clean up, and this is not a terrible fight. You want to hit the halbs first, but yeah, looks like the conks will win this out on numbers ultimately. But we'll manage to snipe a Treb, may manage to even snipe a second Treb. Yep, goes down. So again, the push here is stalled out, and on this side, more military. Lethalion just needs to bring in 1 or 2 villagers to really do this, and the Paladin are just knocking down the walls on their own by now. Another castle down here. Burner is rebooming, has Champion, which is a good unit, not great against cavalry. Conks are cavalry? Okay, so conks are cavalry. So halbs will counter them, but they're essentially mounted hand cannoneers, and hand cannoneers counter infantry, so mounted hand cannoneers will also counter infantry. So conks counter halbs and halbs counter conks, but conks can just kite, right, shoot and stay at range and mow down the halbs, whereas skirms aren't directly countered by conks, and skirms do counter them because they're also, it's the same as cav archers. Cav archers are also countered by halbs and skirms, but the halbs need to get in close while the skirms don't. And it depends on the civ. I think halbs with tower shields might actually also do fine. As this pushes on in the second castle here, really the push is on over here. Looks like, okay, this castle is exposed though, and for all their shortcomings against cavalry, champions will do just fine against castles, and will actually snipe down a couple trebs here. And Forgotten Empires needs to bring back some army to address this. Kamiuk will do just fine against champs. Paladin coming in for Lithuanians, and big engagement here again. But I think Doveki and Alpha Grip just need to coordinate their armies, right? They're alternating sending in armies, and that lets Bismarcking take them down one. I think you need to coordinate, send them in at the same time. And then you can, yeah, I think you kept doing tech switches at the same time, because right now you're both back to cavalry. But a couple castles here, which will slow down this push, and as long as you can keep running in and sniping the siege, you snipe the siege, then this is stalled out, right? At least for the time being, because this can't push. And actually, ooh, boom, nice hit, nice hit. Yeah, if you can mass up Onager, that'll do just fine against the halbs at least. And yeah, if you just hold a standoff on this side while the other side is being pushed, right, that works fine. And the trebs are rolling out. The Trebs are rolling out, and this castle is probably going to be dead. Although the Chukanu are here now. Parker Potts, Chukanu are here, and Chukanu will do pretty nice. And ooh, Chukanu and what is this? Onager? Yeah, Mass Onager. Now, Onager will do fine against massed up units. Onagers will get ripped apart by a castle. Particularly once Crenellations is in, which will give this castle an additional 3 range. But over here, looks like we're trading back. Some decent shots actually on the Halbs. They're extremely weak. But again, it's a numbers game, right? Over here, the slingers are in. Slingers are in and doing damage, although you want the slingers. I guess the slingers I just said you want against the champs, so this is solid. As it looks like Burner is going to switch into crossbow. This push is still on though, and yeah, this castle will rip through the onagers. It's a question of whether is repairing the castle. 2 Trebs left, and I think all the siege will go down. And the tanky Teutons will hold this as well. As over here, another wave. It's especially this massive conch is so difficult to deal with, right? That massive conch is where you want like bring in 1 or 2 onagers. If these onagers could get a couple shots on these, particularly where they're all stacked in a corner like that, that'd be massive damage. But yeah. Onagers, yeah, and onagers will almost never do great against castles. They can deny castles, but once a castle is up, castle fire rips through that line. And over here, the push is still on, right? Raider Red is in, found the hole. Or, well, also created his own hole, I guess, but Burner's in a tough spot, down to 37 villagers, and his pocket's actually down to 28. So this flank is looking pretty rough. And Dovke, I think, or Parker Potts needs to get production rolling, right? You're floating almost 20,000 resources. Think of if you put all that into like you could have 60 fully upgraded Chukanu. With rocketry and everything, you bring those in, those will shred most armies. As here, siege is on, pushes on, Rep goes down. Oh, and the onagers miss. You could go hand cannon against the halbs, and then add hand cannon skirm. Would be a decent counter, I think. And here, the Spanish win again, but the Conks are reasonably weakened at this point. Really good of Bismarcking to constantly be adding halbs, though. That's really what's keeping him alive here, is the constant addition of halbs. Castle being trebbed down here. And the push is still going. Over here, more trebs on the way for this TC in this dungeon. And looks like basically all of Burner's eco is right here. Looks like he's not sure what to do with that at the moment. And I mean, he's not in a great spot, but probably want to send those villagers somewhere to do something. As the Chukanu and halbs are coming over. I do like the combination of adding halbs in front of the Chukanu with all the paladin here. But you need more of them. You need more Chukanu. And you want them supporting fire. Okay. Smart, good to kite them back though against the Kamyuk. You don't want to let the Kamyuk get in range. Another castle coming here. And, oh, I think Parker Potts is distracted as this army is going to get cleaned up. But yeah, I think at this point, unless Forgotten Empires make some big mistakes, I think they're in a good position to win this, right? Burner is kind of out of the game for the moment. And so, yeah. Terag still has a couple of Cav archers, but it's gonna be limited. Actually, it does deny a castle though. And oh, delete that. Gotta delete that. Oh, no, it's not built. Okay, I was gonna say. But I think all the Cav archers and all these onagers will just die to that castle. Unless you pull them back. And Trebs are coming in here. This flank is pretty much dead. Over here, more big engagements, and the conch numbers are going down. The conchs are going down, and without the conchs to support them, even the halbs will not do great against something like Gladys, right? It's really the halb meat shield with the conchs adding the damage behind, which is huge. I mean, halbs will trade decently, but more the better. I left this little wall off though. They're like, hey, yeah, you might take my army, but my Treb is still going to keep firing on your castle here. We'll need to repair though the palisades. Manages to get a quick wall there. And the Treb will keep trebbing away and might actually... Oh no. Oh no, it's trebbing the farm. So the castle will go up. And the onager will be able to take that out quite nicely. There we go. Oh. Yep. Goes down. Hussar in. Now Hussar are going to be hard countered by the halbs. But to be fair, they're cheap. Late game when your food eco's rolling. And I mean, the military count at this point, it's 240 to 60. To 70, sorry. And so this is just about done, I think. Right, at this point you don't even have to engage the army anymore. You've got the castles here. You just kind of hold out and let this flank push. I think at this point with the 3 castles here, Dovekey can even start sending some military over to this side to help with the push. And Alpha Grip should be fine defending this on his own. There's not much siege coming out anymore, and yeah. Age of Conquerors down to 360 pop. 360 pop, which is not even 2 players pop capped. And Parker Potts again floating so much resources. Add 10 stables, add 5 castles, start producing army. We've got a lot of potential here, but and Bismarcking has been doing a fantastic job of buying time here. But ultimately, the push comes through, and this massive overchopped wood line, the Paladin will walk right into that. And really slow this down. This, oh, those farmers still haven't been found. They're still there. Last bit of eco here for Terag though, and the Kamyuk will find that. And yeah, Parker Potts in trouble now as well. As the combined Teuton and Incan army comes in, and I mean Chukano's still doing decent damage, right? Look at the health on those Paladin drop. You just, if you had 6T instead of 16, you could be shredding all of this. And the push is happening, 1 castle at a time. More siege here. A little bit of a choke point. I think one thing you want to do here as well is add some rams. Take down these walls. Give yourself space. Your cavalry is going to do better when you can get surrounds. In choke points, the halbs will trade much better. Pushes on. Even now, the Chukano are doing solid damage. First wave of army has been deleted, and actually... Okay, no, I mean, it's still 180 to 70, but Age of Conquerors this is significantly better than it was just a couple minutes ago. Burner, it looks like, has resigned, though. still has his villagers, but has resigned from the game. So it is a 4v3 now, and frankly, Terag doesn't have much left either. 6 skirms you 2 pikemen have Archer and a trade cart. Excuse me. And looks like the GG has been called. Forgotten Empires takes the Arena Section 2-0 as well. Really well played. Yeah, good teamwork, right? Good timings, especially Dovekey came in at a pretty crucial moment, I think, with the cavalry to help out Clef and stop that push from Bismarcking, and being able to stop that dead in its tracks and kind of stall out this flank really helped, because this flank was pushing, but it's so much easier to push if you don't have the added pressure of their pushing the other flank. So really well done there. That being said, really solid job by Bismarcking fighting 2 armies. Did a really good job there. And yeah, that is game 2, as we have 220 cameo, elite cameo created by Raider Red. 400 halbs by Bismarcking. Really solid job there. And actually, decent KD. I expected that to be worse. Alright, that's game number 2. And we will head right on to the third game. Sorry, I have something itch in my throat. It's very obnoxious. But third game, which will take place on Team Islands. And I believe this was I believe Team Islands was the final game of Castle Bracket. We're watching the sets a bit out of order, but this was the last one. And here we are. Capture Age, and let's go. Looks like the colors are right now. Burner was orange, and Bismarcking was. Consistency is key. Alright, so Team Islands. A lot of water play on this, so I think we'll see a lot of water civs, as we have Alpha Grip with the Vikings, which are his kind of signature and our favorite civ. Lack fire ships, which is a bit rough in Feudal Age, but then obviously the longboat's incredibly powerful. Really good at countering ships, and also really solid at taking out buildings, so great water civ and fantastic eco. Japanese, also really good on water. The fishing ships with the extra armor are really hard to kill off, so very popular for that reason. Not just that reason, but also Franks, not as much of a water civ. Again, cavalry civ. Might be looking to either defend the home island or maybe get some transporters across, land the enemy team, and do some damage there. Especially with the cheap castles, I think there's an opportunity there. And Italians, as we discussed in a previous game, cheaper uptimes make for fast uptime and have a solid water tech tree as well. On the other side, Portuguese. Portuguese have as a civ the caravels, which kind of have essentially a scorpion on water, right? Where unlike war galleys and galleons that essentially shoot an arrow that hits one enemy ship, caravels projectile will pass through enemy ships, so especially against stacked enemy navies, they're a fantastic counter. Byzantines, really strong water civ, get the fast fire ships, Greek fire, which gives their fire ships more ranged. Get fast fire ships, or the not just fast fire fast fire ships. really strong fire ships. And also get dromons, which is essentially an onager on water, which do really good damage and also are fantastic at taking down buildings. And Terrag as well as the Vikings, so we might actually see some longboat versus longboat action happening. To start though, this map, one of the more boomy ones, as until you're on water and have the ability to build transport ships, there's no way of even engaging the enemy. Now, this I think Team Islands is one of the maps where you'll see the most frequently your scout placed on auto scout. I know I do this a lot. You know, once you've scouted your initial resources, just hit auto scout and let the scout run around, because that way you'll get the complete island explored, and there's not really much danger of losing your scout. So, bit of a lazy approach, but this is one map where you can do it pretty easily. Again, though, I'm noticing, like in the Imperial Grappa when we talked about this, starting TC's really close to water, right? There's a lot of Navy that could actually, especially in later ages, range these. A lot of coastline. One second here. Alright. For now, though, pretty quiet. Early docks here from several players. You'll love to see it. Again, fishing eco very strong. Looks like a back dock from Parker, Potts, and Lathalian, so most looking for that fishing eco. Forward dock from Alpha Grip, maybe just going for the fishing, but also creating some potential for some early navy if he wants to, and taking control of this center area, which is obviously crucial if you want to land the enemy. Easiest place to do that is somewhere here in the middle, where enemy buildings and stuff are pretty far away, and you can do that concealed. And if you control this stretch of water here in the middle, you can prevent your enemy from landing you in that position. So definite value there. Now nope. How many of the scouts are on auto scout? This one's not. This one's not. Nope. Nope. This one might be on auto scout. This one might be on auto scout. This one's not. And that one might be as well. Yeah, this one I'm pretty sure is on auto scout because it's doing the standard like go a little bit and then stop and then go and then stop as it keeps hitting edges that it can't go past. So that one I'm pretty sure is auto scouting. This one I think as well. Although maybe not. Yeah. Yep, that's very auto scout behavior. Forward dock as well from Raider Red, and looks like we got a forward dock from Burner. And a back dock from Dove Keep. So actually all of Forgotten Empires is going to be on water here, which will give them a nice little eco boost if they can get those fishing ships out. And you can see there's already a 10 eco unit lead, with actually the Vil counts being fairly close. We do have a couple down here, but still, you know, you have, was it 14 fishing ships to 3, and actually transport ship. Maybe we'll see an early landing from Raider Red here. There is an auto scout mode. If you select your unit, you get the little box down here. It shows your like guard, attack stance, stop stance, and your scout has an auto scout. Now, only your starting scout has the auto scout button. If you build more scouts, they will not have that. So, oh no! So your starting scout can auto scout, but if you lose that scout, that's your chance gone. It looks like Raider Red unfortunately built his dock in a way where it sealed off these little 2 tiles of water. and his transport ejected into those 2 tiles and is now trapped. So he's going to have to either build another transport, which it looks like he's currently doing, or has to delete the dock. Now, if he's building another transport ship, you want to set a gather point out here somewhere to make absolutely sure the second transport does. Okay, good. I was way too ready for the second transport to also pop out here. Back dock for Alpha Group as well. And I mean, benefit here, one, the fishing goes getting further away, so you can relocate to dock that's closer, and also it's just safer. As we have Terra going to water as well. And just sending the scout across for now. Really like this from Raider Red though, right? Gonna get some extra vision. Gonna start scouting enemy positions and get an idea of where the enemy players are, where their resources are. So really good use there, and I mean you'll probably want transports later on anyway. So it's not a terrible investment, as we see a transport from Alpha Group as well. Nope, that got cancelled, going for a trade cog instead. And, ooh, that's 4 docks from Lathalion. So, potentially looking to get into some Navy here. Or just an insane fish boom. And I believe that sound was Raider Red losing his scout. Unfortunate, but did get some good vision on this outside player at least. They were ready for what? They weren't ready to get scouted. They just, you know, have a town center, and if you run your scout into the town center... Town centers have gotten worse at hitting units, but they still do damage. And you don't want your trade going through the middle. I mean, if you're controlling it, sure, or there's not really... I guess there's only one naval unit in queue, so right now you can trade along here just fine. Castle Age coming in for Alpha Grip up early. Again, really strong fishing eco is going to help him get there real quick. And the same for Burner, who I believe was also one of the first to go to water and also strong fishing. Lots of fishing eco here. Really want to see the players add fires to start sniping those away from each other. Do have a couple fires here actually. So this trade cog may not be doing so hot. And that's again where safe trade would be like 1 dock here and 1 dock here. So you've got like kind of this entire stretch. Or here and here. But for now, the trade cog is trade cogging along happily. 62 gold's not too shabby. And the players all heading up to Castle Age, and we might start seeing some booming here as we have a scouting fishing ship being sent around. And again, love the efforts that Team Forgotten Empires is adding to get some scouting going. Getting some vision of the map, or if you look for the other team, it's really just you see your own half and that's all you can see right now. Alright, Castle Age is in. I guess I have to mention when I say I want these players adding fires, Alpha Grip can't add fires because he's Vikings, and he is queuing up the longboats now. From 3 docks? Yeah. And those will easily wreck these galleys, and those will easily snipe down these fishing ships. Those can even take down the docks and start working away at the buildings. So, big potential here to be using those immediately. Probably want to get fletching for them as well. Your opponent doesn't have fletching either, but you know, fletching is just always good to have. And it looks like we're starting to see a transition to water. Now it is 3 docks to 1, so Alpha Grip should be able to win this fairly easily. On this side, we have some Navy mast as well and a transport, but a castle coming up here from Bismarcking to protect his dock and maybe prevent landings. And this is where Raider Red will probably want to... Well, in theory, you want to send your transport here to the middle, but in the middle, actually, Parker Potts is set up and does have a couple fires out as well. Numbers are growing though. War Galley is coming in, so these will turn into fire ships that could actually take this out. But you want to see that aggression, right? Take out. Okay. 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 Galley's coming forward, trying to snipe some of these fish. Alpha Grip. Responding with the longboats. And focusing down the galleys first. And you can see they're just kind of ripping through the galleys, right? Look at how fast those things go down. And yeah, Alpha Grip will clean up this navy. Can go in and snipe all those fishing ships if he likes. Could even start sending some ships around to the back if he would like. But yeah, I think... this is pretty much dead. Do still want to see fletching. War Galley is coming in for burner, which will help, but ooh, heated shot. Heated shot coming in from Bismarcking, which means all his towers and castles, arrows will do much more damage against Navy. So that's a solid tech for this particular map. Ah, there's fletching, very good. War Galley also coming in for Lethalion, who looks like is going to go into War Galleys and has actually a second navy ready here. The longboats are here. Honestly, the two navies could just move around and clean up all of Age of Conquerors' navy right now. On this side, the fires have been pulled back. The transport is loaded up with villagers, so we'll track that. See if that landing works out, because if... I don't think ballistics is in, so there's a chance... There's actually a chance that even if it goes within range of the castle, the transport manages to skirt enough fire to survive this, but... Alright, ooh. Big hit on the eco here. Gold is being denied, and it looks like one Vil went down. For Burner, who's under a lot of pressure. Yeah. Kind of a rough spot to be in. The Britons, and I don't think we've talked about this, Britons, is, I mean, the extra range is fantastic, but Archer's probably not going to be super big on this map, so wondering if maybe, well, again, you're probably going to want to land the enemy and do damage there. Could be hitting this dock maybe, or push forward and hit this, right? You have your combined navies, which can easily take out this number of ships, and you'll want to take those out before the War Galley upgrade comes in for Tirag. Boom over here, more TCs being dropped by several players, and a defensive castle from Burner. That's a... Oh. If Lethalion notices this, she can deny the castle by hitting the villagers, but for now, as long as she's just... Okay, Burner's pulling more villagers. I think that castle will go up. Engagement over here, and again, the longboats will just kind of melt the galleys. Down here, Burner losing a fair amount of eco. I don't know if this castle goes up. I think it will. I think it will. He's got enough villagers. He's gonna lose a couple of them. So not great for his eco, but once that castle's up, it'll definitely help protect his coastline. And now Lethalion needs to pull back here. Up here though, the entire water has been cleared up for Tirag. And these docks might be taken out. The longships are getting snipes on the villagers. Ballistics also coming in. You'll love to see it. It'll make these longboats even more devastating. Ballistics also coming in for Lethalion. And Ballistics in for Bismarcking as well, who has his second castle, is slowly locking down this area here. And I missed it, the transport. I don't know if that... No, I don't think that transport across ever happened, because that's just the same... As far as I can tell, the same transport from before. It is getting loaded up now. See if it moves out. Gonna have to move out soon. Actually, I like the forward castle from Parker Potts to continue to help lock down this area and prevent landings. And the longboats are looping around. Might be able to find a third player's fish here. And this is, I think, where Forgotten Empires needs to start looking at landing their opponent, right? You have a huge water advantage. You can definitely protect it, but if they lock down this entire area with castles, although to be fair, both of these castles can probably be ranged by trebs from here. Or go Imp, which Dovekey is doing right now. Add cannon galleons and just start bombarding the entire coastline. I think with just bombard cannons and a surround on the island, you can win this as well. Portuguese don't have Romans. Byzantines have Romans. Portuguese. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, Portuguese have Carracks. Oop. Couple longboats go down and get converted, but a couple villagers also go down. Lots of castles. Looks like Age of Conquerors is looking to kind of lock down their entire coastline with castles. Now, while that's not a terrible idea, I want Age of Conquerors to start thinking about not just how do we protect ourselves, but how do we win this game. Because right now they have 9 military units on the field, and the bulk of those are these 7 fires, all of which can be ripped apart by the navy that Forgotten Empires has right now. Woo! Yeah, I mean, if the longbows come up over here, they can clean up this as well, and with that, Terek is going back onto water, but like their entire navy's been cleaned up at least once, and there's a big opening for landing right here. Really want to see Forgotten Empires take advantage of that. As the fires just get ripped apart. They'll get a little bit of damage because Alpha Grip's not fighting back, but he doesn't need to, right? You lose, I think he, took damage to 3 and lost 2 ships maybe there. Might lose 1 more there to the castle. Oh, nope, he's fine. More castles coming up here. Fires will start working away at this dock, and actually right on the edge of where that castle fire can reach them. Cataphract out, which are great, but won't do much for you on your home island, well, unless your enemy lands you, but that's not the case yet. Fishing eco's still going here. And yeah, again, Age of Conquerors is effectively off water. You've got a couple fires here, a couple of longboats in queue here, but no big wind condition here at the moment. Just kind of buckling down and trying to survive, I guess. And Alpha Grip will be up to Imperial Age as well. And given that they've seen these castles, Alpha Grip could drop a castle anywhere really. Yep, that's a good spot. Drop a castle, add 1 or 2 trebs, and knock down, I think both of those castles should be rangeable. Heated shot coming in. Solid choice for Raider Red, although it won't do much for him at the moment with no towers and no castles. Lots of chemistries. And Lethalion on our way up to Imperial as well. More castles from Bismarcking. Look at, it's, what was that? 4, 6, 10 castles. 11 castles just to defend the coastline. And, oh. Yeah, that castle will go up this... Or galleys focusing the dock. That's alright, you're busy somewhere else, right? Looks like some trade is starting to be added here. And looks like things will calm down for a bit. Alpha Grip's ship's still looping around, still looking for kills, but don't think they really want to engage under this amount of towers. even if you do have the number. Unless if you hit it from this side, you're fine, right? You just, ooh, this is a solid spot that you're just out of range of everything and get some villager kills, and that entire navy from Terag is dead, I believe. There are a fair amount of weakened boats. So Alpha Group wins out, but his navy continues to be weakened, and if Terra continues to send reinforcements, he might be fine. But again, down to 5 ships, has to pull back. And also has land army, but there's nothing you can do with your land army right now, right? You haven't been landed, so on your own island your army isn't effective. And you don't have water, so you can't do transports, so your land army is no effect over there. Castle's coming up here from Dovekey, and I see, where was that? Here. Transports from Lethalion, so maybe preparing for a landing. And here's the thing, despite all the castles, there's still plenty of coastline where you can get in a free landing. Whoop. Longboats are here and can get a lot of damage on these villagers. I don't think they'll deny the castles, but heavy hit to the eco here. They'll not able to find that many kills at the moment. We'll find a couple. We'll definitely find a couple. But the castle... Ooh, does the castle go up? 87%. Ah, he backs off. The castle will go up. Almost denied that. Look at all these fishing ships. Fishing away happily. Victoria for Bismarcking. No Bodkin either. Who doesn't have Bodkin? Oh, no Bodkin for Terag, you're right. Definitely is going to want that. Okay, castle coming up here. Still no trebs from either side, and there are 3 exposed trebs here. Lots of longbows. Again, I mean, yeah, I've said it at this point, right? You have all this land army, but you can't do anything with it. Although I guess the longbows at least might be able to hit ships. I do want to see trebs here. Ooh, although elite canyon galleons coming in, that's a solid alternative. And definitely going to be even more useful than trebs if you can keep them alive. Yeah, well, it can hit this one. I'm not 100% sure about this one. But yeah, to be fair, the trebs can only hit these 2, and the canyon galleons can loop around and hit every single castle. So, oh, but you don't want to run your longboats under triple castle fire. That is not the way to go. And yeah, galleons will do alright in this trade. Are these... I don't think these are elite. No, they are elite longboats. Okay. Castles defensively coming up here as well as towers. Kind of lock down this outside to prevent enemy raids. Elite organ gun. Oh, no, elite caravel. Sorry, not Carrick, caravel. Imperial Age and Chivalry coming in from Dovekey. So looking to go into Cavalry. Also going to need transports to transport that army across. Big engagement in the middle here. The longboats should win that, especially in these numbers. Yeah. Now, oh, looks like the longbows are trying to get in on the action. But Navy is gone as well, and I mean, you've got a little bit of fishing here, but it's never going to be able to move out to the deep water or the longbows take it down. And the cannon galleons are out, elite cannon galleons are out, and the castles will go down one by one. And honestly, that gives you a great opening right here to land. Now these aren't elite cannon galleons, these are just normal cannon galleons. I don't actually know where the Japanese get elite cannon galleon, but we do have several of them from the Vikings play over here, so these 2 castles are pretty much dead as well. Yeah, and the longboats will just melt this dock if they choose to. Or apparently we'll just melt these as well. Good job tracking those Keeping track of those kind of galleons. Those are expensive. Don't want to lose those. And yeah, Burner is under a lot of pressure. And right, this is where the theory of lock down your coastline with castles fails. Without contesting water. Because if you don't contest water, your enemies just go into cannon galleons and knock down all of your castles. And that's that. Fishing eco will melt. Ooh, over on this side though, we have elite caravel. Not a huge number of them, but they'll be super effective, especially with the fires in front to tank for them. Really like that choice from, yeah, really like this composition from Bismarcking. I think he's gonna need some allied support. Ooh, Dromans. Dromans out for Parker Potts as well, and the Dromans can do the same thing as cannon guns and knock down this castle. Dovekey, you have 56 Paladin. Get 3 transports, send them across. Yeah, you guys do have openings to land for sure. Especially right here, right? This entire section of the map is now completely unprotected. But yeah, looks like the Navy's arriving here, and that will definitely slow things down for the moment. Although the cannon galleons can still just loop around and hit whatever. I think the cannon galleons might even be able to range this town center. From here, at least. Maybe from here. Engagement happening over here, and yeah, cannon galleon with nothing in front is going to trade really poorly against caravels. Ooh, and that's 16 caravels now. It's 5 dock production. I think here again, you can add a Treb and knock down several of these docks. But yeah, both teams needing to invest more into water, right? Raider Red, I think, needs to be adding Navy. As do Parker Potts. And Terag. But this castle's gonna go down and interesting. It's not every day you see long bows against long boats. But just off of HP alone, the long boats will definitely win this. And Burner is kind of in a rough position, right? This is what we said, players are super close to water. Most of his home eco is in a position where it can be ranged from one side or the other at this point. He's gonna need to withdraw or need allied support. And yeah, getting hit hard, and the landing is here. The landing is here. Castles are going up from Lethalion. And I think this is where, once you've got that initial secure, I kind of would like to see Alpha Grip add landing of his own, bring a couple vills. Maybe add in some Berserks or something. Oh boy, that is a navy. 12 Dromans, 25 elite caravels, 10 fast fires, 7 fires. That's going to be super painful. And I mean, the castle will definitely help, but the Dromans can take that down. And these, you need to pull back these cannon galleons. Oh, look, Japanese do elite cannon galleons. Big engagement on water. Huge, massive engagement on water. Longboats finding great value, but don't want to get in range of those Dromans. If those get shots on the mast up and the caravels as well. Big fight coming in here. Castle helping, actually, getting in some good damage. But the numbers are definitely favoring, except Bismarcking is pulling away. Bismarcking is retreating. Oh, man. I think Conquerors could have cleaned this entire navy from Forgotten Empires. But it looks like they're going to pull back for the time being. And actually, they wanted to win that because over here, Burner's in trouble. The Samurai, you love to see it. The Samurai are out, and Burner has no answer. He's lost all his longbows against the longboats, right? And only one castle here. And instead the back, all of his eco is super exposed. And yeah, Dromans dromans are, without a meat shield in front of them, these dromans aren't gonna do super great. I mean, they'll do damage, but you're losing a lot of HP on some pretty expensive ships. But the caravels are back. Caravels are back, and I know again. I think these two players just need to coordinate their navies, and they could clean this all up, or at least could clean it faster. I think the caravels will win out over the longboats actually at this point. Oh, we have transports. We have transports, but they're trying desperately to stay alive as they're being chased down by Romans. I think Dovekeet needs to take her army, send it over here where you have channel control, right? And then just ferry across. Build a dock here, 1 or 2 transports, and then just ferry across a super short area. And then you can just go across. As we have Berserks actually coming in to counter. I think Samurai went out against Berserks. I mean, the Berserks will go down to the castle, which actually dies to the Trebs. And the Samurai are missing 2 armor upgrades, and 2 attack upgrades. Which you'll probably want. Do knock out 2 relics here, though. More castles coming up from the Byzantines. And here, the caravels are walking away, and now it's Raider Red who's exposed and in a tough spot. Now, to be fair, the caravels aren't great against land, but there's a fair number of elite cannon. 14 elite cannon galleons. Oh my gosh. Oh, longboats are here though, and they are actually just had a really good engagement cleaning up the dromans, which will definitely help. Now I just want to pull these back, maybe bait some of this through the castle fire, but you're going to lose in these numbers. Bismarcking. Look at that navy. 14 cannon galleons and 35 caravels. That's a crazy army. Okay, over here, cannon galleons. Oh, you probably want to use the cannon galleons to snipe those traps. But yeah, the hold is here. Oop. Looks like Tarek has built up his navy though, and he's coming around. He's coming around, and honestly, now is the time for Age of Conquerors to be thinking about, hey, build some transports, send them across, and there's a landing. Bismarcking has villagers on the other side. I think you just need the players, particularly the players that have a weaker navy and are stronger land players, to maybe send across now. Oh, Paladin are on the move, though. Are there transports over here? I don't see any, and actually you're being pressured by water, so... But yeah, Burner is in a rough position. His last TC going down. He's down to 60 villagers and doesn't have room to expand a lot. I mean, you've got kind of little patches here, right? But does have a reasonable number of longbows again, though, which will actually take out this cannon galleon as well, which is nice for him. Big engagement here on water, as Lathalion manages to clear up this water pressure, but we still have this massive navy in the middle. Massive navy in the middle, and I don't think Alpha Grip wants to engage this. I think you want to retreat. I think you want to build up your numbers as much as possible and have Lathalion send in their navy at the same time. And you want to do it with your castles protecting, not with the enemy castles protecting. Big engagement, yeah. I think Alpha Grip, the longboats are fast, they might get away. But you definitely want to pull back, that's a good move. Burner kind of on a last push here, and actually does have enough longbows. Does have enough longbows that the Samurai will go down, and we are hitting the 1 hour mark, and the score is close. Less than 1,000, a bit more than 1,000 apart. Bit more than 1,000 apart, and Bismarcking has a landing. He has a castle up. He has cannon galleons behind. And where are the paladin? Where are the paladin? Ah, you've got all these paladins. Send them across. You could whack down this entire castle with paladin. Oof, I don't know if I love this castle. It's gonna get ranged by these cannon galleons, I think. Okay, big engagement here. Massive engagement here. Pretty close. The ships aren't super stacked, which is going to make the caravel a lot less effective. There's drones back up in numbers, and they might actually deny this. Ooh. You gotta delete that. You gotta delete that. Oh, that's a castle lost. Unfortunate. Oh, with this chase, if Lathalion pays attention, she can turn around and take out all these dramas right now, which would be great. The score is getting closer. Dovekey utilizes Paladin. Oh, and Dromans will go down. Almost all the Dromans go down, and that's a good win. Looks like this castle got denied as well, which is unfortunate. But you have the army on this island to clean this up, right? You've got 100 Paladin. Oh, but looks like Paladin have been sent across and are pushing here. Excellent. That's what you want, right? Now send the Paladin into the eco. Ignore the castles. Hit the eco. Hit all this eco. There are berserks here, but so much damage you can do right now. Big ball of navy. Gonna take a lot of passing damage, and the ships are spread out, so the caravels can't do as much to them. And Bismarcking will be forced back. Still holding here though. Maybe some trebs from Dovekey here to knock these down and push back off water. Goes for another castle again. Too close. Too close, I think. More engagements here. Galleon still pushing back, but reinforcements here for Bismarcking, and you need to pull back. You need to pull back. Now, ooh. Bismarcking is sending all of his cannon galleons into the slaughter, which is not a unit you want to be sacrificing here. Oh boy. We'll win the navy battle, but that was a heavy cost. And the Paladin are in. Gonna keep ferrying those. There's more here. Keep sending those in. Ooh, big navy here from Terag though. Ooh, oh no. If this navy hits these transports right as they come across, 7 minutes left in the game, scores 1,000 apart. This transport will go down. That's 20 dead Paladin. The navy's here. The galleons are hitting the castle. Hoardings is in. Good call. That'll help. But there's big numbers, and the castle are fighting. You want trebs here. The castle's still up. The cannon galleons do go down. You can pull back the longboats now, right? And let the castle do the bulk of the work against the caravels. But the transports have been denied, I think. Yeah. Most of the transports got killed. That's a lot of dead Paladin, and that's going to close the score even more. 800 apart now. 6 minutes left in the game. Oh, no! Here they are! Here they are! All of the Paladin over here. Galleons are here. Paladin are still raiding though. I'd love to take some of these Paladin and send them into more ecos, right? You've got so many exposed villagers. But Paladin are here. Another 30 Paladins. Send them immediately. More water engagements. Terrag's navy, I think, will be cleaned up here. Love to see Bismarcking use these caravels to push through. Push through the caravels, take the Dromans and knock down these castles, right? That's how you win this. 700 apart, the score. 7 minutes left. Especially with this army around, you can pincer this navy from both sides. As it is, I think Terrag's navy will actually get cleaned up here. Paladin are here. Let's get them on the move. Paladin are raiding. Finding a lot of value. Took out a town center here. Third castle. from Terag. And again, another defensive castle, but still too close, right? This can still get ranged by, well, it can be ranged by 2 castles, the villagers. This castle can be denied. That's not going to go. Samurai are out. Paladin are on the move. It's a close game. The eco is pretty close. Much more army for Forgotten Empires, though. You want to utilize that. A lot of army tied up here without not doing much as well. That's where Age of Conquerors wants to push. Use this to start knocking on these castles. And they are pushing here. Alpha Group forced to retreat. The Paladin are in now. They're here in mass. Oh, I like splitting them up. Send some here, send some there. Town Bell is rung from Burner, who's already in a rough spot. Good by Alpha Group to pull these ships under castle fire to dissuade those caravels. Over here, Dromans and caravels still just kind of sitting there. Could be utilizing those. Trebs out, starting to hit some castles. You'll love to see it. I think these Paladin can still push in and knock down both of these castles, though. Paladin also still raiding. Keep sending those to the villagers. 2 minutes left in the game. The score is less than 100 apart. Another castle coming up here from Alpha Group, but that might be denied. There's a lot of cannon galleons and Dromans here. They're still raiding. Shots are out. The castle's being hit. Castle here goes down. The Trebs keep knocking away. Cannon galleons here knocking on. Alpha Group will lose this castle. More Paladin being sent across, but there's a lot of Navy. Those might not reach it. This castle does stay up. 30 seconds left in the game. The score is 100 points apart. Burner has resigned. And, I mean, he's down to 55 villagers and has nowhere left to run. Castle's being trapped. The Dromans are hitting this eco, and that's a game. Such a close game. Final score difference, 679 to 744. That's 585 points. 75 points. 65 points. Hold on. Yeah, 65-point score difference. If Burner hadn't resigned, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Burner had 54 villagers, and most of them were forced idle. He resigned like 3 minutes ago, so he would have gotten a bit more wood. No military to speak of. Lots of the villagers were garrison. It would have been another 12 villagers taking a bit more wood. I'm not sure, but yeah. Definitely big potential. Really good push here by by Bismarcking. Especially Bismarcking played really solid, got this hold across. I think the tools to stop this were here, right? You had castles and even just like 1 or 2 trebs placed back here would have knocked this pressure back off. But they lost points when he resigned. Okay. Oh, then maybe. But yeah, close games. I think both sides needed to land earlier or think about landing. Oh my gosh, so many castles. So many castles built by Forgotten Empires. That was a huge part of their score, I think. Most units, 114 elite caravels. That is difficult. And 128 paladin. Which we're ripping through here, yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, Terrak also down to 15 villagers. But yeah, really solid game, really fun to watch. But Forgotten Empires will take this 3-0 for a really solid series. And yeah, you can see military score, again, really solid for Bismarcking in particular. All right. Question for you, Southpaw. There's no wonder victory in this game, but if you're seeing the timers getting close, and you have a lot of resources, do you try to rush up a wonder to boost your score to be ahead at that mark? if you're in a standoff situation. I mean, if it's like you're in a tough military fight that can go either way, you don't want to be investing 3,000 resources in that, right? But like if you're the land player here, you're not on water. Ooh, research all the techs. Techs for score. That's a good one. Hold on. Where's the relic gold? Okay, looks like the relics were kind of bounced around a bit. Lots of players with relic gold actually. Well, I mean, you're not gonna get a wonder victory, right? Having a wonder or a wonder for a certain amount of years isn't gonna give you a victory, but you can essentially play for you can essentially um, play for score, right? If you're playing for to win on time limit score, that's that's a sketchy strategy. I wouldn't say that I recommend it, but if you're seeing that it's turning that way anyway and you're in a standoff, that seems like a potential way to get a bit of a boost there. You know what? I bet Forgotten Empires could have also boosted their score by scouting. So, what was the final scouting like? So, okay, we have this is the view, or hold on. This is the final fog of war for Age or Forgotten Empires. So actually, could have still missed a couple corners there. Could have boosted that. This is the final view for Age of Conquerors. So again, scouting, thinking not just defensively but aggressively, I think would have made a world of difference for them. Looping just a ship or two around here. Wouldn't you lose score? Well, yeah, you'd have to get the wonder up, I think, for it to be worth. I think so. You need to start early enough, and also you lose out on the res that the villagers are bringing in. So I'm not sure if it's worth it. That's also why I'm asking, not just if it's allowed, but also whether it's actually reasonable. I don't know what society score a wonder gives you. I know. Okay, so 15, 25 castles built this game by Age of Conquerors. 25 versus 12 by Forgotten Empires. Yep, yep. But that's where they were missing the scouting, right? You gotta have that scouting to know to do that. Because for all they knew, you had castles along the back and they had no chance. All right. Well, that was game 3 of this series. I'm gonna stop there for tonight. Um, and we'll cast the final series um, potentially this coming weekend. We'll have to see. But yeah, good games. Thank you all for hanging out. Good job to all players. It was really fun to watch. And I bet you are a Vikings player down for water maps. Anyway, here we have the Vikings player versus the non-Vikings player. Oh, well that sounds like a you problem, Daruk. Maybe you should play water map. You might like it. I do enjoy a good bit of water. I enjoy a mix. I'm better at land maps, especially open land maps, but I do enjoy me some good water. Right. Let's do. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Here we go.
Chopper.
Drop another choppa
Chopper.
while we wind down the stream here. Let me check real quick if there's someone convenient to raid.
Chopper.
Yeah.
voy, buscar, cazar, construir,
All right.
cultivar,
I think we'll
degradar,
just wind up.
excavar, remendar, agora, voy, buscar,
This
cazar,
feels super loud.
excavar, remendar, agora, voy.
Yes? No? Super loud? Okay.
Chopper.
Anyways, thanks all for hanging out. Have a good night. And yeah, I will post in the Discord when I can, or when I know myself, when the final set of games will be. In the meantime, have a good one. If you would like to rewatch this, it'll also be posted to the YouTube along with the other sets. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. Or afternoon, I guess, for some of you, hey?
Chopper. 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 Chopper.